Good morning everybody, welcome to Bayside's Cooking School, and this week we are doing sticky baked Chinese drumsticks with a fried rice. So a very simple recipe, and remember you can substitute for what you have, and we'll go through what you can substitute as we can carry on. So we're going to use Chinese 5-spice, which has cinnamon, fennel, pimento, aniseed, cloves, pepper and star anise. You can make your own 5-spice, or you can get what you need from your own cupboard, or make up your own spice mix if you like. Just substitute as you need. So I'm going to actually bake them in our foil tins that we have at school, but you can use a baking tray, and I'd recommend that you put grease-proof paper or baking paper underneath so that you don't have to clean your pan, because they take a little while to cook. And so it's just easier to clean. So I'm just going to pop them in here because I'm going to marinate them in here really. So all we need for this is some crushed ginger. So I'm going to use some from our tin today. You can use fresh ginger grated if you like, and some garlic. I'm also going to use our jar garlic, and you can use that or you can use fresh. It's up to you. And I'm just going to put a teaspoon of each in. So in with my chicken. So 1 and 2. Okay. We need a teaspoon of 5-spice. Because my teaspoon's wet, I'm just going to use 2 half teaspoons. That's a teaspoon of 5-spice. I'm also going to use some honey. Alright, so you need a tablespoon of honey, so that's going to give it the sticky element. So that's our sweet. So you can just put it straight onto there. I'll pop that in. And 60 mils of soy sauce, which is 1/4 of a cup, or 3 tablespoons, because that makes up 60 mils if you like. So 60 mils, that's our salt. And we're also going to pop in a whole star anise, and we really do this at school just to show you what a whole star anise looks like. If you don't have star anise at home, that's fine, you don't have to use it. There's not a great deal of flavour that is imparted in this amount of liquid by a herb or a spice like this. So really I just wanted to show you that they do look like a star. Yeah, you can see that. And they smell like aniseed. Thank you, Miss.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're more than welcome, but if you don't have it, that's okay too. Now I'm going to mix this all up. I'm going to make sure the honey is off my spoon, and I'm going to coat it with my hands. Just make sure that all of those lovely spices and things have coated that. Make your oven 180, and because this is drumsticks, it takes a while to cook. If you're cooking for your family and you've bought a tray, it'll take about 40 to 50 minutes. Because it's on the bone, you really want it to be cooked. And make sure that you turn it and check it, because soy sauce is awful when it's burnt. Okay? So once you've marinated those, you're just going to pop them in the oven. Now, fried rice is a very versatile dish, and everybody, just like bolognese, everybody has their own version of it. So I'm going to do a version with the things that we have here at school today. But the cooking techniques will be the same as at home, and you can use whatever you like. Alright, so, and I'm going to add our sticky baked Chinese drumsticks with this as well. Fried rice, you can have a meal on your own. If you make rice and you make too much rice, put it in the tub and put it in the freezer, or use it the next day, because rice is a big danger of food poisoning. Okay, so don't leave it for a week in your fridge. If you're not going to eat it straight away, then put it in your freezer. So I've bought some rice that I had in my freezer from home, and we're going to use some bacon and some frozen vegetables. So the bacon that I have here is called middle bacon, okay? So that's from kind of about here on the pig. I'm going to take the rind off. Now, I know a lot of you like to eat the rind, so it's up to you, but I'm going to use the tip of my knife to come along the top of the bacon rasher. That's what a bit of bacon is called, and I'm going to get rid of my rind. And then I'm going to slice it. So I'm going to cut this in half, right? So I've cut it into halves. and I'm going to put them on top of each other because that makes it easier for me less time for me to chop. And I'm going to slice it thinly all the way along. I'm not going to get rid of the fat because I'm going to do my egg in that later on. And then I'm going to turn it the other way and slice it. So I'm going to dice it. So that's a really time-efficient way to slice a rasher of bacon or dice a rasher of bacon. It doesn't have to be precise, okay? It doesn't have to be a brunoise or anything like that, because I'm going to put it in my pan, which is already heated. So I can hear that nice sizzle. And we're going to cook that for a couple of minutes until it's nicely cooked. Now, as we know, cooking is about multitasking. So I'm going to put the next thing on, which is my spring onion or my shallot. So to peel a shallot, all you do is you get the top bit of the skin, the layer of onion, and you just pull it off. Okay? Now, sometimes they're a bit old on the end, so we won't use the very end, but sometimes they're quite fresh, and this one's pretty fresh, so I'm going to use the whole shallot. I'm just going to chop off the bottom of it. So very, very small, very little waste. And I'm going to make sure I keep an eye on my bacon. And it's looking pretty good. There we are, because it's a nice high heat. The thing with when you make fried rice, it's good to have everything pre-prepared before you do it. So perhaps you could have everything sliced up, but I'm quick enough to do this. So I'm going to slice my shallots. These are going to go in later on. I'm going to turn that down a little bit because I can hear it popping and I don't really need it to pop. Don't really need to make it too crispy. Right, using the rock of my knife, keeping my fingers out of the way. There. Now I'm going to keep some of the nice green shallot aside for garnish, and I'm going to shred that nice and thin. Alright, so there we are. There's very little waste there, that's a bit rubbery, that old bit, so that's it. Okay, my bacon looks pretty cooked, so I'm going to remove it from my dish, my fry pan here. I'm just going to put it onto my plate. Now, I'm not going to try not to get all of my oil out because I'm going to put my egg in next. Just pop that there. Now that's back on the heat and it's on a medium heat. Now I have my egg here. I'm just going to crack it on my board and put it into a cup and whisk it using a fork. You don't need a whisk. So whisk that up. Now you could do this prior, have everything ready prior to go. So your bacon chopped, your egg whisked, your onion chopped, everything measured out. It makes the cooking process a lot easier. And I'm just going to pop my egg in there. Now you can do this in a non-stick pan if you like, if you have one of those at home. And remember, don't use any metal in a non-stick pan because you'll get in trouble. So I'm just going to make almost like an omelette. And because it's only one egg, it's going to be quite quick. So don't even think it will be a minute to cook. And these are eggs from my chickens at home. I bought them in. Not the chickens, the egg. All right, so I have got my egg. It looks just like an omelette. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it over to a roll. All right? And you've got a nice little roll there. And I'm going to put it on a plate ready. I'm going to use a bigger fry pan for my fried rice because I've got a few things here and I think this fry pan will be too small. So I'll just swap over my fry pans and put that on the heat. So that's on a fairly high heat. So what I'm going to do now is make sure I've got everything ready to go because it's a quick cooking process. I've got my rice, I've got my egg, my sliced spring onion, my bacon, and I've got a cup here of frozen vegetables. There's peas, carrots and corn. You can use fresh vegetables, you can use whatever you like, just dice it up. Use whatever's there. Don't try not to go out and buy things for fried rice. Take a look in your cupboard and see what you can use it from, but just use the same cooking techniques that we're using. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of oil into my pan because I'm going to fry my rice, and when you fry you use oil, and that's quite a hot pan. Pop that in. My rice is still a little bit frozen from home. That's okay, I'm going to put it in there, break it up with my hands, and it's better to have a dry rice when you fry rice, alright? Because it just makes it makes the grains of rice separate. So fresh rice to make fried rice isn't always the best, which is why it's such a great dish. I'm going to move that around. Now in your various recipes, because there's a couple of classes doing this fried rice, as a junior and a senior, you can add whatever spices you like to this. We're going to use a little bit of soy sauce, and that's it. So my rice is in there, and it's looking pretty good. It's on 8. While that's cooking, I'm going to get my omelette, and I'm just going to slice it into strips. Okay, so that's going to give you nice egg strips. So it should end up with a nice strip about that wide and about that long of your egg, and you're going to add that to your fried rice. Alright, that's looking pretty good now. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm trying not to let it stick, breaking up all the lumps, because you might have some lumps in there if you've frozen it. Break them all up with a spatula, or if you're using a wok with your wok churn. Okay, I'm going to put my bacon in. And my egg. It's almost like Chinese bacon and eggs, really. And then my cup of vegetables, frozen veg. And they are still frozen. Move it around. Try not to let it stick to the bottom of the pan. Be really aware of that. So just manage, practice your heat control. Think, okay, well that's looking like it's going to stick. I'll turn my oven down a little bit. If you've got an electric oven, don't be afraid to lift up the pan while your element cools down a little bit. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I might even pick this up and give it a little, agitate it around, but if you're not comfortable doing that, then don't do that. Don't want rice all over your kitchen. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce in. So a tablespoon, so not a lot. Remember, it's very salty. Then I'm just going to make sure that that is just really just seasoning, just like you would salt. Around. That's looking pretty good. And I've got my onion here. Don't forget that. Move it around. And I think we're just about done. So first of all, I'm going to, now I've got some ketchup manis here, which is sweet soy. It's an Indonesian soy, and I know a lot of you really enjoy that over your fried rice, and you can drizzle it over your fried rice. It's very syrupy, so you can use that. Now the Year 11s have made a chicken to go with this, and if any of the juniors want to do this, they want a recipe, just email me and I can give it to you. And we're going to add it. But first of all, I'd like to just show the camera the fried rice. So that looks really nice. It's lovely and colourful. It's got all the nice elements in it, the egg and the peas and the bacon. And of course, vegetarian version, you don't have to use bacon. You can just use egg and rice. If you're vegan, you can just use rice and the vegetables. Now, we might try and make a rice timbal. This is a very 80s thing to do. But so what we do is we just pop our rice into a cup if you want to try this presentation technique. It is a little bit old-fashioned, but it's kind of fun if you want to try out. And you just got to hope that you pack it down enough that it's going to stay. And just like you're building, remember when you were little and you built a sandcastle, you put your plate on top and then turn it over. All right, moment of truth. Oh, okay, there we are. It's staying. I'm going to very gingerly place that there. Do you mind moving the camera just so the kids can see? Yeah, great. And then I'm going to get my chicken drumsticks. Oh, it's fallen. That's all right. And pop them here on this, like so. I've got a little bit of sauce in there, and if you'd like to, it's nice sauce. You can drizzle some sauce over the top of your drumsticks. And I've also got my shredded top of my spring onion, which is always very nice to put, just for a little bit of brightness and a little bit of green on the top there. And then if you wouldn't mind, there we are. We've got our sticky baked Chinese drumsticks and fried rice, which is fallen out.